Welcome to Sapien. Today's podcast is little different and special. You have already met our guest, Dr. Tair Hollander and Mr. David Hollander. They have a musical instrument accessories business that they are willing to sell. It is a great opportunity. So, watch this video till the end. Of course, do not forget to like and share this video and subscribe to the channel. So why wait? Let's start.
This is what a Dampit looks like. It's all packaged up.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's all packaged. This is the viola Dampit, and it comes in the package. I'm gonna take that.
Can you lift it out a little more?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. This is exactly what I saw.
Yeah, I knew. I'm gonna take it out of the package though.
So it's like basically as you said, it's a surgical tube, right?
Yes, and it goes in.
The holes in the tube, and there's a compressed sponge
Yeah,
on the inside of it.
Okay.
There are
So you can
holes.
soak that in water and dry it off and put it inside the F hole, inside the sound hole.
Oh, okay.
But it has this goes into a viola that the viola goes inside the viola, it comes out like that.
Okay.
And it's put into water. When the customer gets it, they put it into a glass of water, soak it really well, and then take a paper towel and they dry it out really well, and then they put it in their instrument.
Got
And
it.
then their instrument is getting humidity from the inside out. But this is the Philadelphia Symphony, the string section, and they're posing during intermission with their dampits. They took them out of their instrument.
Oh, right. Yes. Now I see it.
And you see that they're just all posing in a different way with their sub.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny.
Yes. I said I should put it online because this is
Yeah. You definitely.
I have to take the JPEG of it. I think it'd be easy. Beautiful.
Of course.
Beautiful.
Yes.
They look gorgeous. They had just done the Mahler second. Each instrument has its own die, so there's not the same holes that go into a violin. It's a different hose, and the different holes that go into a viola. There are different lengths. There are different. The
Wow.
positioning of the holes
It's
are different.
basically science.
Yes, because you want to emit the humidity in the correct way, and you want to give that. And when the instrument is, and that's why you'll see that these guys were playing with it with their instruments they just took them out for posing with them, but they play with them inside the instrument. Because when the wood is rich with moisture, it has a great resonance. And it sounds so beautiful. A cello's voice or violin's voice can just sound so extraordinary. But can you see it now?
I see up to.
Okay, let me see it, bring it down a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, do you see this?
Oh, right.
This is this is cello Dampit.
Got it. That's so
You put it
nice.
in, and you just keep it when it's hot outside or dry. I moisten it and put it in, and it keeps it humidified, so the wood won't crack. It's because this is very, very expensive wood, and it gives the instrument a beautiful sound when it's really done.
This is an amazing invention.
Yes, it is and Uncle Ralph. Did you read about Uncle Ralph's invention of it?
You told me already.
Yes. He invented it because he wanted to protect his violin, and it was an invention out of necessity.
Yes, yeah. And that's also that simple.
Yes.
It's that simple.
It's that simple.
He knew the wood was cracking and the glue was drying, and so he put it in the bathroom and turned on the shower. That all this humidity, but it doesn't work if the humidity doesn't begin from the inside.
Got it.
So that's why he figured out to put the tube inside with the sponge.
And
So when was it?
That would have been 68.
1968.
1968. Okay. Okay. And so he was an instrument player.
He played in the pit of the Broadway theaters for the shows.
Okay.
He was a very fine violinist.
David's father, David's uncle,
Mm-hmm.
Ralph, and David's uncle Arthur. Uncle Arthur created huge libraries of piano pedagogy, music to learn how to play the piano.
Okay.
And all three of them went to Juilliard, and they were called
Right.
their trio.
Okay.
And their father came from the Ukraine, Odessa, and when he was in Odessa, do you know the picture of that opera house that they put those sandbags around that they show that they're trying to protect the Russians from bombing that Odessa opera house? Back in World War I, they had put the sandbags to protect it, and now again they've had to put the sandbags to protect it again.
Okay. Right.
Okay. And so David's grandfather performed at that opera house. And then he came to the United States and he performed at the
Manhattan Opera.
Manhattan Opera.
That was an opera company that rivaled the Metropolitan Opera at that time.
Okay.
So he was an opera singer, and that was his work.
Wow.
And then his sons were violinists, violists, and cellists.
Oh, that's pianist and cello.
They all went to Juilliard. And in fact, David went to the Manhattan School of Music.
Okay.
And it was so funny because by the time David went to the Manhattan School of Music had taken over the old Juilliard school, the old building.
Really? Okay.
So he walked the same halls that his father and his brother did, and his mother, because his mother and father met at Juilliard.
Right. Right.
So he walked the same hallways that his parents did, and he followed in their footsteps. They all, and Uncle Ralph and David, Uncle Ralph never had children, so David was like his child.
Wow.
And that's David's dad.
Right.
Norman.
Thank
And
you for showing the picture. Thank you.
And he played with the Kansas City Symphony for 48 years as the principal cellist. David's mom was the first violist for the symphony for 35 years until she died. And then David's uncle Ralph, he was in music and he invented the Dampit and ran Dampits until 2008. And we took it over in 2009. When he died, everything in his estate went up for auction. That he contributed most of his money and everything to Juilliard.
Okay.
And his instruments, and the sale of Dampits, the proceeds of Dampits, whoever bought Dampits was to also go to the school of Juilliard.
Okay.
And so Dampit went up for auction, and David's dad called us and said, with my knowledge of business, don't we want to preserve his brother's business by buying Dampits? So we put our bid in for the auction.
Oh, nice.
And we bid so that we made a hefty offer that everybody would have to climb pretty high to do it.
Got it. Okay.
And also not have the kind of knowledge of the machinery and things that David had already done, because David had done so much when he would go visit Ralph. Of course, most of his time with Ralph was spent, and he and Ralph were preparing for a tour that they were doing in Mexico or whatever, because David would go and play with the piano and Ralph would play the violin, and they would go to Mexico and places to play, and Ralph liked telling everybody that he was David's brother rather than his uncle. But we got the business, and we took over the business, and it was during the time that I was pretty ill too. But as what happened is, I found that I couldn't travel much anymore. I wanted to get into the film business and do some and produce films, produce plays. I wanted to do that, but I was pretty weak at that time. I could go out sometime, but it was that because of the germs and everything that were out there, my system was still pretty weak.
Right.
So if I go out, I knew that I would have to suffer by, suffer. I sacrificed a lot of myself because I would run my system down, and I have to come back to rebuild it. But while I was rebuilding, I had to be doing something, and that was not lying in bed. So it was to put all my efforts and everything into making sure we learned everything about Dampits. Uncle Ralph used to have just the tubing in a package, and all of this was like green, or it was a green color package or whatever like that. And so I decided I wanted more colorful. So I felt it was
Yeah.
more beautiful to have a beautiful picture and create a nice colorful packaging.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then also that now to create different business models, of course, and then with the advent of uh, Amazon, that now so many people who want to get into the music accessory business can now sell on Amazon and buy from the different those who want to buy violins or cellos or whatever they can go to the violin cello. Amazon will protect the makers of those violins and cellos, and make sure that they are protected, and that people that are buying it are not going to try and steal any of the goodwill from it.
Hmm.
And it's the same way with Dampits. If they want to start a business, they want to sell Dampits, they have to buy them from us, and they can sell. They're just like some of our big wholesalers, but now they are able to connect to people online. They can sell them online rather than for us to go in and sell them online. We don't want to sell them online. We want to sell it to people who are selling online. We want to stay in the wholesale business.
Right.
And as I get older now and we're ready to retire, we're just now thinking about now releasing the business and finding the right buyer. And it has to be somebody that's that loves the music accessory business, because it is for taking care of instruments.
Right.
And
Of
making
course.
sure instruments, and there are so many instruments throughout the world, and we can't even reach everybody, but we are very global. So we've got it right now. We're working on orders for Beijing, for Korea, for Germany. Those are things that we have right out in the plant right now that we're working on those orders from Germany. Arc Mandela in Spain, in Portugal. Oh, just all over the world.
Almost all over the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I will definitely share the information on about the business and their contact information in the description as well,
Yes.
so that you can easily get it. It's an amazing system and so simple, and you can actually use it very easily to protect your musical instrument. Of course, you can go to the website. The website also has Yo-Yo Ma's picture,
Yes.
so you can get inspired by it if you are not by any way convinced by the simplicity of the system yet.
But also not only Yo-Yo Ma, but going inside and clicking on some of the history and everything, you'll see many other musicians that came before Yo-Yo Ma,
Of
that
course.
that are very absolutely devoted to using the instrument for themselves.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We'd rather sell it to people who are wanting to, because if say that somebody is like somebody in India, they would purchase dampits. They could make dampits in India and sell them on Amazon India. They could offer it to Pakistan and through Amazon. Nobody could use it unless if they bought dampits, they bought the trademark, whatever. Everybody would have to come to them for the dampit. Every Amazon user
Of
that
course.
wants to buy it, that wants to sell it through their online stores, would
Sure.
have to come to them to make the dampit. It's really a good thing for young people that really would like to if they wanted the manufacturing of it, because the manufacturing is not that hard to make it. We make about 180,000 of them a year, and that's quite a bit. There are probably about 300 to 400,000 in demand.
Wow.
But
Okay.
we can't even reach the demand. We haven't even reached open the markets up for the guitars in South America. It's a huge market there. So it's like we want to take our time and really find good buyers, but the ones that they can grow with it and understand that there are other humidifying products, but this is the oldest and the tried and proven. The newer ones have either leaked inside $1 million instrument, or the humidipack has blown up inside of $1 million instrument. And once that happens, but Dampits has never ever leaked.
There are a lot of imitations of the product now, but they're the original, and they describe it as the gold standard.
Anyone that has an instrument and they play their instrument often, they will know when the instrument needs moisture and when it doesn't. They also have a humidity indicator card too, which is we add these desiccant cards to sort of give them a chance of saying, if they just leave their instruments in their case, that they can tell that what the humidity is like. But we ask everybody to buy a really good hygrometer, because if you're a musician, you have your instrument out, you want to be able to make sure that your instrument's in a room that has a correct amount of humidity, so that it is not real dry or heat. And you can tell in the wintertime, everybody's like, we need dampits, we need dampits, we need dampits. Because it's either that it's gotten hot, like in the Northwest with this climate change. We're in so much demand because it's become so hot in areas and dry that people are trying their hardest to protect the wood. Even in their antique furniture, they'll get dampits, and they'll ask us to send them so they can line their drawers in their antique furniture to keep their furniture moist.
Also, computer printers,
Yeah,
the ink dries out.
Oh,
yes,
right. Yeah.
yes, for the ink dry, but the photographers that use the photographers buy a lot of dampits too.
Really?
In
Yes,
fact, you can take pens that don't work any longer and put them in an enclosed container with the dampit, and after a few hours, the pen will work like it's brand new if the ink dries out. Isn't that amazing?
and people have taken guys that are cigar smokers. They love their cigars, and if they don't have a humidor available, they'll just take us. We have let's say the baby grommets, the ones for the big
Little violin,
little violin grommets,
about 6 inches long.
6 inches long, and they'll put them in they'll put their big cigars in a plastic bag and stick the dampit, the little violin dampit in there to keep their cigars moist. There's so many things that we've heard that people use to take care of their instruments. And
Right.
then they use the Dampit to do it.